Hi guys, this is Arman,
This is Treyvon.
and it's our second episode of the Post Fight Podcast. Thank you, all 220, 30, some odd of you, for joining us last week. 22 new subscribers. We are extremely grateful for that, and honestly, quite surprised. I think both of us expected to have like maybe 10 viewers, but at this point, I don't know.
Dude, I was expecting like six.
Yeah,
maximum,
yeah.
man.
I was not. I wasn't ready for the. I mean, it's not like we're out here breaking Logan Paul's numbers or anything, but the numbers we got were.
Subscribers.
Yeah, but the numbers for our first video ever, like on the channel, we don't have any graphics up yet. In a jank ass fucking production was pretty. It was pretty good. Our feedback was good, and Trayvon did a good job of sharing that with our club members, and so I'm sure that helped a lot. So shout out to HBJJ guys who are watching. We really appreciate it. But we've got a really great card coming up this week. 249 in, I believe, Jacksonville, Florida. But first, we're going to touch up on some news, nothing extreme. Basically, we've got the 249 card. It's going to be on the 9th of May, this Saturday. And Dana says that there's going to be one on that Wednesday, the 13th, and then another one on the 16th. Cowboy, on an interview with Brett Okamoto, was like, I'm going to bring my trailer up there. Did you see that, Trey? He's like, I'm going to bring my trailer up there, and I want to fight 3 times that week. I was like, I don't know about that, man. But, yeah, so it's going to be exciting. Jorge Masvidal, I have no idea what his interesting plans are, according to Dana, but he's no longer fighting Usman and is slated for some sort of interesting plan. I don't have any further insight into that. And I also have no idea what's going to be on these other 2 cards. I'm not even sure that it's announced. But
I didn't see anything for those cards either. Let me check real quick. I'm on Wikipedia, the greatest source for MMA news. So I'm gonna check. Oh no, Smith is fighting Teixeira on the one on the 13th.
Right.
And then Overeem is fighting Harris on the 16th.
Got you.
Those cards have. I mean, those cards have fights on them. They have fights on them.
Makes sense. Okay, so that's not. I mean, that's pretty good. So we've got those cards with fights on them, and but we kind of got a long list of different. I mean, this is a stacked event from early prelims all the way up to main event, so we don't want to waste any time because we try not to go over about an hour to 15 like last time, maybe hour 20 if it gets really tantalizing. So yeah, we'll jump right in with our discussion on this whole pre-fight analysis. Trayvon, you want to take it from the top?
Okay, yeah. So for the 249 event, which in my personal opinion, I like it a lot more than most other main events they have made, is Tony Ferguson and Justin Gaethje. And we talked about this a lot last week.
We did.
In general, but we're still getting, we're still going to get into it regardless. So as you guys already know, before I get into my actual topic, I have Justin Gaethje beating Tony Ferguson.
Yes. Make that too.
Like I was saying last week, man, I just find it very difficult. The type of fight, Tony Ferguson to fight a type of fight that's going to lead him to success against Gaethje. That doesn't require him getting hit hard as hell multiple times over the first 5 to 10 minutes. Also, especially since Justin Gaethje now has I like 2 more weeks of training, it just kind of makes me more confident.
Yeah.
I'm not trusting Justin Gaethje in a fight that's going to last
4 or 5 rounds. Yeah.
Or in the 3rd round, pretty much. But I don't think he really just needs it. Almost all his fights don't go to decision anyway.
I don't think any in his UFC tenure have gone to the decision. Not a single one. Yeah.
I think he only had 1 decision fight in his whole career.
Who was that against? That was WSOF.
No, I think it's probably against Melvin Gallard. Yeah.
Okay. Phew. Yeah, it must have been a rough night for Gaethje. Against Gallard.
But I just, like I said, I don't see Tony Ferguson implementing a game that can keep himself safe over the distance. Like he's gonna be, and I just don't trust Tony Ferguson too to be able to take shots from Gaethje. Just like watching his fights again, he gets hurt like every fight. Gets brutally.
He gets dropped most fights. Yeah.
It's just. I think this is the time. You know what I mean? As unfortunate as it sounds, I think this is the time for Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, it's
like I say, like he has spaces he can do really good in. But the problem is, I don't think he can own any space. He can only own the dynamic of the fight. And like Tony Ferguson's gonna work from everywhere. At a clinch, he'll throw elbows. At a range, he'll jab you. At close distance, he'll swarm. He can work the body. He works the legs. He does all that stuff. With all nice way. But the Tony Ferguson and Justin Gaethje are gonna be meeting in exchanges. And Tony Ferguson isn't gonna have any avenues where like Justin Gaethje's backed up and like ropes him,
Right.
or where Tony Ferguson can just take control of somewhere that Justin Gaethje won't be able to throw back at him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, if Tony Ferguson can somehow survive, obviously he has the advantage. He has space to keep him in, but he just has a tough time. Like tough time for the first.
Well, I was looking back at a lot of footage this week, especially in these two guys for this episode, and what struck me especially, I look at Tony's most recent performance, and both of them fought the same guy. Both of them fought Cowboy. That was both their most recent performances, so we can see really them dealing with the same things, how they deal with him. I know that won't say a whole lot about how they face each other, but it was very interesting to see the different ways in which they approach. I thought it's like you put them through the same test and see how they both come out. Tony Ferguson was hit more by Cowboy than Gaethje was. And I thought he took a way more dangerous approach. And there's some specific techniques where he leaves himself extremely vulnerable to being hit in the head. Like he does he threw lots of, I think I counted 2, but I was sort of paying not very much attention. But there were 2 like left hooks to the body that he threw to Cowboy. One of them was a shifting left hook, right? So he starts off in orthodox, and as he steps into this left hook, he shifts into southpaw. But the problem with what I noticed with him was when you see people do this, they're usually in tighter like this, right? They have their hand up. He was way up here like this, and stepping into it, you're going to get countered so hard by an overhand from Gaethje, because Gaethje does that really well. You know what I'm saying? To me, I see that was one of the and also his stepping right hooks. Like the Ray Sifo thing where he'll step into he does that a lot and then totally overextends, and he's sort of worked it into a combination or a sort of a sequence for him where he'll do this, turns back, and then spin into an elbow. I think in these 2 positions, he puts himself in a lot of danger against Justin Gaethje, especially in any situation where he leaves his head exposed, because that's always sort of been the layman's criticism of Gaethje. He pulls his head back. But a lot of fighters pull their head back. And while it's not defensively sound, like they do a good job to keep themselves pretty safe. Like when you watch Khabib, like he's pretty much kept himself safe for the most part. I think the most damage he's incurred in a fight was Poirier, who had like another shifting, I think, right hook, right? Something like that. A very, which caught him on the chin. And then second, you could say the Michael Johnson thing. A right hook landed, and then the left hook missed, but the commentary missed that. And but it's not just that Tony he pulls back with his head. It's like when you watch how Tony reacts to people coming forward, and this is Cowboy throwing these like marching combinations where his it's like a 2-1-1-2. Like he wasn't doing it. It was like a weird piston sort of. Cowboy threw very strange punches in that fight.
Okay, no, Cowboy's punch mechanic.
With his elbows out like this, it was bizarre. But you see, I noticed the way Tony does not. He's like one of those guys who goes out on a shield, but he's like has a religious adherence to his pressure, which is good. It's fine. He's a pressure fighter, so what else? You ask that of him. But when he's put on the retreat, you can see his strategy is kind of he'll kind of take us off the center line for the first attack coming toward him, and then it's like a chaotic series of footwork, at least to my eye. How when he'll back up, his stances, he's just sort of haphazardly switching stances and moving backwards and pulling his head like this. And I think Gaethje's gonna run him down, probably catch him, and when they go toward each other, you know how he puts the collar tie on you and throws the uppercuts. I think he's gonna catch him with that and then pull back with the leg kick, especially as Ferguson does this like shifting right hook, or he did like a little bit of a really like lungy low jab to the body. Anytime he puts weight in the front leg, I'm going to see Gaethje throwing leg kicks, staying safer. Gaethje takes damage, but he does lots of this, and he's looking really a lot more elusive in the Cowboy fight. So honestly, I see an uppercut knockout for Gaethje. That's what I see. Or at least I see it.
And like specific terms of like tactics that Tony Ferguson that really scares me in general, but especially like I don't think would be good for this fight. That he does like how you talking about. He gives up his back a lot after his strike.
Yeah.
He'll throw himself off the position, and he'll like fully turn, like give up his back and turn himself out of it. Like I know this is an example when he was hurt, but it still is an example. Like when he got hurt against Pettis,
Mm.
he threw that spinning back elbow, which it did cut Pettis overall. I'm pretty sure it helped him out a lot.
Yeah, it did.
Like,
Yeah.
he gave up his back. He gave up his back against Pettis against Renata. He was rolling and giving up his back, letting like big shots come at him, man.
Yeah.
And like, I think that I think he can just throw a combination, and he might fall short, might overextend. He might go in his back, try to throw like a spinning elbow or spinning back fist. I think Gage can catch him at a collar time, work good stuff from there. If he doesn't counter the shot in itself,
Mm-hmm.
like. Man, it's so tough to pick Tony in this fight, man, because he's like I always say, having crappy defense or crappy moveset is way better than not having anything at all.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Moving your head, even if it's bad, if you do it, it works well. If you have crappy offense, if you don't know how to put punches together, or you don't know how to do a combination, just doing that in itself will help you win fights. Just put out volume, stuff like that. Like to me, Tony Ferguson's defense isn't, I wouldn't say good, but he attempts it. The problem is though, like,
What does he do defensively? Like honestly, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I know like his grappling defense I have a pretty firm understanding of, but like his striking defense, I'm not sure.
As a person who loves parries and stuff, he parries really well.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Like I know he's a corny like 52 blocks guy, but if you actually watch like he parries well, he'll deflect shots really well. He does that really well.
Yeah. I noticed that against Cowboy, he did like something that made me think his Wing Chun was actually paying off. He parried like 3 consecutive straight punches.
Like in terms of like handy defense, he has really good handy defense.
Yeah, I agree.
But that type of stuff leads to clinches against people that like want to clinch. They can use that to walk themselves in and all that. Which again is just dangerous, man. I like the spaces that Tony Ferguson likes to work at again. It's just so dangerous. If Tony, if Justin's like jabbing to the body, Justin does.
He does that a little
Tony
bit.
might like try to parry it and try to walk himself into an elbow. Tony might try to walk Justin into an elbow. Let's say that does happen. Then now in close range and the clinch range, and then
that's where Dustin does good work.
He's gonna be getting snapped down, pulling collar. Justin gonna be pulling collar ties, uppercutting him, leg kicking him.
Yeah.
It's just like if Tony were a bit more defensively responsible, or if he like had better pocket awareness or a few other things, I could probably feel more comfortable picking him.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, the people who beat Justin are Poirier and Alvarez. They both know how to operate in the pocket. They both know how to keep himself safe. They both either work the body or draw out stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like even like Tony relatively like feints a lot to get Justin to cover up and work off of that. Tony will just do what he does.
Tony fights how he wants to fight.
Yeah. Like Tony's not too much of a feinter. And he obviously does feint a little, but he doesn't. It's not like he feints to get a read on you to do stuff like this. He just said, I'm pretty sure in his mind, he says, I'm gonna put out offense. And that offense is gonna do work for me.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna compound on itself. It's not like Dustin, who's like, let me just put out a peppering shots to get my opening.
Yeah.
Tony, I don't think Tony cares about stuff like that. I think Tony says, I'm just gonna break through his defense.
Right.
Sheer volume. But like, he's gonna be taking shots in the interim, and that's just a very dangerous recipe.
I agree, man. I agree. I hate to go against Tony, man. I mean, I want to make clear I'm not a Tony hater.
I'm not either, man. I'm really not.
It's just, you know, I have to call it as I see it, technically speaking, and as far as I can tell, you know, I could be totally wrong. You and I could be we could be aiming north and the answer south. But as far as I can tell, and as you can tell, this is just what it's looking like, you know. And that guy I mentioned last time, John, is trying to milk everyone for every penny they're worth, putting bets. I got Tony for 10. You taking Gaethje for 10. Everybody put money in the pot. I got Tony. But I mean, the reason I mention that is because I can't say certainly, right? Like given especially the short notice, this was put together in relatively short order. And even if it weren't, the conditions under which these fighters are training are not ideal. I think they favor someone more like Ferguson, who's already kind of someone who structures his camps around himself and who is a loner. He's not really a part of a team, and who's had that training camp for Habib with an actual, you know, group of people before quarantine. That was for Habib, but it's still training time, you know. So I would be way more confident if Gaethje got the camp, you know, he would have been afforded had we not been in the middle of a pandemic. But
and I will say,
Mhm.
And I will say, even for like fights, like say, like how I'm talking right now, I find it hard to pick Tony winning the fight. There, for almost every fight, there are spaces that like a fighter can win. Like again, if Tony can get out the first two, his chances of winning the fight just skyrocket. Now, obviously, again, I think that's really brutally hard for him to get out of, but his chances skyrocket. Even for fights like Conor and Cowboy, I was extremely confident Conor was going to beat Cowboy.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, man, okay, like what if Cowboy can can mitigate the early work of Conor? What if Cowboy can kick at Conor and range and kind of slow him down a little bit? Obviously, nothing like that happened. But like a fight like that, even though like Conor and Cowboy fight, I put all your money on Conor. This fight is terrible.
Yeah.
Every single way, and it showed. Like
Yeah.
the fight was exactly kind of like how I imagined it, even quicker. To be honest with you, you still have your thoughts, but like, yeah. So this fight is a lot going around, a lot going on with it, a lot of jumbled stuff up. Just the whole process makes it difficult for me to be 100% confident.
I'm never.
Do not bet. Do not bet on like this fight. I wouldn't advise you to bet on like anything on this card.
Don't bet. Yeah, there's too many unknowns. You know what I mean? There's way too many unknowns.
It's too random.
Hey, I'm not betting on. I don't bet anyway. You know what I'm saying? But especially not now.
Like something like, what if Tony like weight cutting for no reason?
Yeah,
feels it.
Helps him,
and he gets hurt.
Or hurts him.
And he gets hurt on the first exchange. Like it's like, okay,
he has to make championship weight twice in a month.
Yeah. Or what if Gage is completely out of shape? Just he didn't have time to train. So
shows up with a beer belly.
So my official prediction is Gage in the early second round.
I'm gonna go with Gaethje late second round. Oh, past the 2 minute and 50-second mark. Past 2 minute 50-second mark.
Okay, so we'll get ourselves into our co-main event, which is another title fight, and a fight I will say before we get into it, I don't like at all. And Henry Cejudo and Dominic Cruz.
No, is this because of the meritocracy behind it, or lack thereof, or is it just the stylistic components, or what is it?
No. Yeah, like there are three like actual contenders advanced that are like elite, like, and then two that are actual legit title and Aljo and Peter Yan.
Peter, yeah.
Those are title contender. Yeah, those are title contender fighters. Like, put Petra Yan in there. Put
really proper.
In there. Or like even like I say, even Sandhagen. Like if Sandhagen got a title shot, I wouldn't be mad at all.
Yeah,
same. Sandhagen. Like he more than fine to get a title shot. Like,
who is in that top of that? Those are the three guys right now who are on runs, who haven't lost.
Oh wait, okay, no.
Well,
Marlon. I thought you were talking about in rankings, yeah.
No. You can't justify giving him an immediate rematch, or it wouldn't be immediate, but he didn't even look good in that Aldo fight. I thought he lost it, but yeah, those three guys are way more deserving. I don't know why they pick Cruz. Honestly, it doesn't even make sense.
I only picked Aldo. I was mad at that too.
Yeah, that was dumb. That was kind of shocking. He lost.
At that time, Yan didn't have an opponent. At that time, Aldo didn't have an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't know why they didn't put one of them in there.
Well, and someone, I don't remember, I was watching it wasn't one of these individuals, but it was something like either the Weasel from YouTube or Luke Thomas's show. It was one of those style of shows where they argued that Cruz was not a publicity stunt per se, but it was a decision favoring popularity, right? Like he would make a bigger splash in terms of people being excited to see. Who knows Dominic Cruz? Like new fans, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like his last performance was against Cody Garbrandt, who did very well against him, obviously, kind of put on a masterclass. And then before that, he had a split decision to Dillashaw. No, he beat Uriah Faber.
Faber.
Yeah, who then went on to lose, pretty brutally to there's that old guy. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine that would be more like a hardcore or at least avid fans popularity.
I think like again, I'm not into like UFC brass. I don't know what they do like deep down internally. But right. I think a win over a Cejudo win over Cruz like it's like excellent name value.
Okay, fair.
Arguably the best 35er of all time.
To put that in your record, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a nice name there. You know, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, he'd be, especially like the run in terms of names, he'd be DJ, then he'd be Dillashaw, then he'd be Marlon, and then he'd be Cruz. Like that's in terms of name, that's like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I think that'll do good for him. And then like again, Cejudo's been asking for really, really bad fights against named fighters to, I guess, to like bolster him a little bit. Even though I'm not a fan, I'm not too much of a fan of it personally.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's get into actual like discussing the matchup. And I will say, if this were a Cruz who I'm confident is like relatively like in his prime, because again he has a fun 3.5 years, man. Like,
And he's taking this fight again on short notice.
Like if this was a prime Cruz fight, it would be really, really, really fun to see actually.
Yeah, I agree.
It would
Very
be really
compelling.
interesting. Yeah, but like I don't like. It's hard to like pick the fight other than being like I think he's gonna win just because he's like a fighter and in shape and has been fighting for the past little bit. And like, so like I can't trust Cruz like holding up because again he's only getting older. He's been hurt again for like 800 years. Like I feel bad for Cruz too overall in general. Like,
Yeah, I want him to come back, have a good run.
He's
But
fought like 6 times in this decade. Let me check real quick.
yeah, go look at his resume right now because he's and every fight he gets injured again. And then he was supposed to come back against Jimmy Rivera, and then he broke his arm.
Okay, yes.
Like a year or two ago.
And yes, in the whole 2010s decade, I think he's fought 8 times. Now, all of 2010, he's fought 8 times.
Oh, that's actually so crazy. That's less than once a year. You know, and he's put on spectacular performances in most of those. You know what I'm saying? Like watching like the tricks he has to sort of get angles on people. You know, MMA, how MMA fighters use footwork and stuff like that. Is you can learn a lot from them. It's kind of complicated, but yeah, he's just so inactive and he's so injury prone. The poor guy.
Like I say, I will say, like a massive part of Cruz's game to me is that like he has to wrestle. Like smart people have said it, and I'll say it again. Like if Cruz can't wrestle in his fights effectively, his actual footwork starts to kind of unravel. Like it's super dangerous to be waddling around in range, switching stances in front of people, taking hard angles, kind of with just to get reads. That stuff is very dangerous to just be doing against people. Sure. If you can't surprise them with reactive takedowns, which he mostly can against everybody. But even Prime, I don't think he's really catching Cejudo with reactive.
Well, I think here's what I think happened because you know he has that. It looks like he does that knee tap really well. I think he takes an angle and does like this dart thing where he'll kind of shoot into, and then he lets you get underhook and pushes. It seems something to me like he'll get it, and then Cejudo will quickly scramble and get back to it. It's kind of like how it was with Cody. But then Cejudo will shut it down because he's going to know the setup. And he'll probably have kind of like GSP's first takedown against Johnny Hendricks. That was the only one he got. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he got Cejudo down like once or twice. But like
not down. He'll be put to his knees, and then he'll get up quickly.
Like Dom Cruz isn't like a top control threat in general.
No.
Like he uses takedowns to mix up stuff. He'll get you down, hold you for like 10 seconds, a little scramble. But I don't see him getting anything tangible off of his wrestling.
No, yeah.
And but I will say, a Cruz that's like in shape. I'm assuming the Cruz that can like fight for 5 rounds. He might give Cejudo trouble,
Triple
especially
C.
off of things. He might give Cejudo trouble, just especially off of like the range he keeps. Because again, like Dominic is much bigger than Cejudo in terms of like length and height, and you might just pepper him with little long shots, dart in and out at long range. Might be difficult for Cejudo to get to him as consistently as because I don't trust Cejudo as a range striker at all. Like Cejudo was a little bit I would say a little bit, I'm gonna say unskilled for like his caliber, because he is very skilled.
Yeah.
But like he's less skilled than you would think for like a 2-division champion, or less skilled than you would think for like a champion of like 135, just an elite weight class.
Yeah, sure. Like he does some things very well, right? But it's he's not as I guess varied in where he can fight and what spaces of the fight he's good in. Yeah.
Like I trust him to be able to like continue to keep trying to track after Cruz and continue to to try to implement his game and try to force exchanges that favor him. But like I just don't, especially as a range striker, I don't really trust Cejudo. Like he can work well range on himself offensively, but he kind of doesn't have any real work or any real defensive like ability.
Well, he has some decent defensive footwork. I remember and this is Wilson Hayes, so make of that what you will. You know, whenever he adopted that karate boxing thing, he would take a back step as Wilson Hayes charged in and sort of cut an angle pretty well by circling out to his open side, which provided him with like an angle to counter. But that's Hayes running in. That's him closing distance and then attacking the same straight line. Go for it.
That's what Hayes is running forward. Like for as much as like Cruz's footwork is a little bit overrated. Again, like I say, mobility is better than no mobility. Mm-hmm. Like even if your mobility is bad, if you're taking angles in the pocket or if you're moving around in range, especially not moving around, it just makes things hard for people to get to you. Like, the Cruz is darting in and out. So we're just gonna have to track him down. And Cruz jabs well, he leg kicks well. He has some pretty solid range tools.
His jab will be there. I think his jab will be there.
But I am saying all this like hypothetically. I just can't trust Cruz to win this fight. I just don't know like who he is now. Like,
well, I think if Cruz has the exact fight he wants, right? Here's what it would be. It would be picking apart Cejudo at range with leg kicks and maybe a jab, and then he'll step back he'll kind of switch step backwards and circle off, and he'll be doing that, and he'll try to build off his combinations and maybe shoot to get a scramble every so often, but just use that to mix things up, and he'll be landing lots of jabs, leg kicks after a couple rounds of that. If he doesn't really get lots of meaningful resistance, what he'll do is build off of that jab to throw different combinations and use them to switch off. Like he does like a shifting into a jab, and then he'll take this angle, and then he throws some combination. His hands are kind of really bad, but his footwork works. But I think if he gets that fight, right? Because if he watches the Marlon thing, like what really helps Cejudo is when he just started throwing like lead right straights and coming forward, right? Like when he abandoned that sort of not out fighty, but 1-2 thing he was doing. Like he just kept coming at Marlon with like lead shots from the open side. I don't think that works against Cruz, but I think let's say he has that. I think Cruz is just going to move out of the way. I think let's say Cruz has that. I think he can maintain it for 2 rounds, right? Before the ring rust just gets to him. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not kidding. I use ring rust on purpose because he says it doesn't exist, but it does. You know what I mean? And I think if he has and I don't know that he will, right? Like it's hard for me to pick this fight because I don't quite understand, admittedly, all the ins and outs of his footwork. Like some of the stuff he does doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like direction changes against the fence, and I get those, but how he pairs that with stance changes kind of confuses me. But also, like there's not much to really study with Cejudo. He does a couple things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I don't know how the fight. Like I feel like honestly, a prime Cruz versus a prime Cejudo, I would pick Cruz, but I don't know if he can maintain what the fight he wants against. Because he gets tired.
Sorry about that, guys. We had a little technical difficulty with the connection between our call. Yeah, what I was saying was Cruz does get winded, not tired, under the best of conditions when he is fighting his fight in rounds 3, 4, and 5.
I'd say he gets winded because he is so active. To me, kind of unnecessarily active. Like he's moving consistently. Like which I mean, like like in an ideal world, you're like, yeah, man, you want fighters to move, to be mobile, but like to me, it takes a lot of unnecessary motion.
He's wasting movement. Yeah.
Yes, but I will say his cardio is incredible to be doing like the stuff that he does.
The athlete that he is,
and still continue to be able to fight for like a full 25-minute championship level fight against high volume fighters. Like it's still pretty crazy.
Well, it's crazy, right? And I mean, we do have to remember though, he is a much smaller man than you and I. Like have you ever gained weight and then practiced any kind of footwork? You feel it in your feet when you're heavier. You get more tight. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm 175 right now, and this time last year I was walking around 155, 158, and I could run longer. I was on my toes for longer. You know what I'm saying? So
hey man, everybody's been getting swole recently, and I accept this, man. I respect it, man. Everybody out here trying to get big. Everybody out here trying to get big, and it's something I like to see.
I'm only like 3 pounds heavier than I was before this whole thing happened. But my point is that the heavier you get, so I don't know. It's just Cruz puts out a tremendous work rate, even for people in his division, because they're small. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't cut down, 40 pounds of my body. I just couldn't. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's like almost 25% of my body weight. But he's a much smaller person than you and I, and so you have to factor that in when like thinking like how active they are. Like I couldn't ever have that amount of movement, and maybe you could. I don't know, but
Well, no, I mean, like obviously little guys can move a bit better, but like you have people like like Kobe Covington or Usman who are still like extremely high volume people.
yeah, but they're not moving in the way that he is, right? Like
no, okay, no, I will say yes, I will say that.
Yeah, they're not making the same miles. Like if you just look at like distance, not displacement, like distance. Try like how many steps they've taken, right? Like they're like Cruz just hopping all over the place, man. You know what I'm saying? He's just
I know, making big movements. I know, yes, making big.
Yeah,
movements,
these big, huge
level changes, big level changes.
I don't think it's necessary, but it works for him.
But yeah, like I said, man, like Cruz, if I had an idea of who he was, I'd be a lot less hesitant. A lot more hesitant to pick Cejudo just so casually. I don't want to say casually, but just a lot less. I wouldn't be picking Cruz so like, oh well, like that he's gonna win, because I can't trust Cruz because I don't know what he looks like. I don't. He hasn't had a fight in forever, so
for sure.
It's just kind of like a person to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it kind of seems like he's playing the company man role, and that they asked him. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's like. I know he's like, hey man, I get a title shot. Let's go. I can get a title win
and good money. I'm sure.
So.
Yeah. And he's got that mindset where he wants. He's not just like, oh, I get money. Like he's very even on the fucking podium when he's talking, he's competitive as fuck. He doesn't like it when he's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes, man, I know.
He's always saying stupid shit, and then he'll be like I was watching the Namajunas thing, how Rose versus Andrade, and she had the Kimura grip, and then when Andrade was doing a head inside single, and Andrade stepped to the outside, and then uses this to lift or something like that, and then Cruz is like, she cannot lift right now because she has that Kimura, and she. Oh, actually, yes, you can. But he didn't even correct himself. He just said, she's lifting her. He never corrects himself. He just he goes, well, actually, there's another layer to this where what I said isn't wrong. It's just unapplicable in the actual circumstance, which I also fully understand. You know what I'm saying? He's super. Almost a little narcissistic in terms of how he formulates opinions and how he relates them in conversation to other people's. But let's get a pick on this, right? What are you gonna? What's your prediction?
Yeah. I don't know why, but I normally pick finishes so a lot. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
I don't know. I guess Henry Cejudo late KO. I don't know. I don't know. I got Cejudo by finish for some. I don't know by finish. But when I pick stuff, I almost always do it by finish. It's too much, but I don't know, this one by finish. Cejudo. Mid-late fight.
I think
whatever happens.
I think early round 4 or end of round 3, we'll get a TKO for Cejudo. It won't be a KO. It'll be kind of like the Dillashaw finish, in terms of how the very end happened. He'll probably pummel him, probably with less controversy.
The problem is I just can't picture the fight. I can't
Nor can I. I don't know how it goes. Yeah.
I can this is what Cejudo does. This is what I see that
Cruz has done.
Yeah. But I'm
too many unknowns.
How you how you imagine fighters in the cage together. I can't really do that.
Dude, I just don't want to be sad. I don't want to be this is clearly a washed up Cruz who's not only much older and rusty and who's coming up against, resume wise, one of the best combat athletes ever, who just won 2 divisions, and you know what I'm saying, who looks big as fuck. But he's also older and has had a bunch of injuries.
I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be like, man, Chuck Tito 3, man, like that shouldn't have happened. But so because that's why I'm about to say, because I know it's, I feel in my, like, my heart is picking Cruz because I like Cruz, and I like Cejudo. I try so hard to like Cejudo. I'm trying so hard. Look, but when he beat Marlon Moraes and he got in front of the camera, I was like, I was like, oh. Like, can you just give it a rest? Like, please. And then, like, after he beat fucking TJ Dillashaw, and then he put this big ass suit on and his big old head, and he's sitting there with the microphone smiling. I'm like, this guy, for some reason, made me think this guy looks like a Mexican sponge salesman. Like,
on a tangent, man. I forgot what card it was, but the card that Cejudo won the title from Marlon, and and Valentina and Jessica I was the co-main. That was like the two cringiest people.
Yeah.
In MMA, man, fighting back to back.
And she did a little dance,
like,
when she won.
No, I'm not talking about Valentina. I'm talking about Jessica I, because like what always gets me is when she wore like that bulletproof vest to like the press conference.
Bro, I don't pay attention to her. I think Valentina.
No,
she makes me cringe.
No, but the thing is, Jessica I wore the bulletproof vest at the press conference. But she like got a head kick, and it's
oh yeah, it's and like against someone who's not a finisher, like at all.
I know, man. Like she's like, yeah, man. She was like, yeah, man. I got my bulletproof vest on, but she got a headshot. So it didn't even matter.
It didn't even matter. You're like, what's that for, bitch? And then just eats a fucking. Man, that was a rare, awesome fight for Valentina.
I feel bad for her, though.
I feel bad for all of the awful fighters in the women's division because they're so abundant and they're like a few good female fighters in every division. And it's just how long WMMA has been around. But like when you watch whoever the fuck Chukagian, who the fuck fought Valentina last time and just got put
it was
Chukagian? Yeah, and just got put in crucifix or whatever and just got, I mean, it was just class, I don't know. It was just Valentina's not losing anytime soon, and that's fine. But she's gonna end up like, I mean, she's faced good opposition, though. She beat Joanna, right? She's fought Nunez twice, and she didn't do bad in either of those fights. But whatever. The point, this is a huge tangent. What I was going to say is, because I've tried very hard to like Cejudo, and like I said, I have a heart. I like him as a fighter. I tolerate him as a personality, and choose not to exaggerate in my head how absolutely disgusted I am with his cringy antics. But I love Cruz. I love how he handled the Cody loss. He spared no expense in taking digs at Michael Bisping, even after losing. He said, look how many times Bisping's been knocked out. Look how many times he's lost. And no version of events did anyone expect he'd be champion. And look, he is. So I can come back from this loss to Cody. You know, because he's always shitting on Bisping. So my heart says Cruz. My mind, for whatever reason, it says Cejudo. And what I honestly would be, I think most likely what would happen is like what I said, maybe like a late mid, like early end round a TKO by Cejudo. But if this happened, I wouldn't be surprised. If he comes out, runs at Cruz just can't react quickly enough and just gets sparked unconscious in round one without even a chance. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, damn it, fuck.
Like I don't know how, like the fight is just there to be there, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. So we got to move on. So the next one is Rosenstrike, whatever, Jairzinho. I'm really bad with it. I don't think they're good fighters, so I don't watch. But versus Ngannou. How do you see that playing out?
Like
I'm fucking sunburned now.
I don't have those problems.
But, I mean, you got Ashley, right? We got something.
Yeah. Well, you get Ashley too. Just can't see it.
That's true. That's true. You win.
But like Ngannou, man, like I think a big problem that I've seen in like his last recent fights is that like guys are scared of him, and ironically they give him exactly what he wants. Like Junior, he fought Junior last. Like Junior was like, I gotta knock this guy out like immediately because he's like terrified. Big and strong and powerful and hit him. So he throws the worst punch I've ever seen in my life and gets countered off of that and then ran away. His own demise.
Yeah.
Like and then Velasquez was like, I don't know, man. He got hit but was also old. Like Velasquez KO was just okay, whatever. And then Curtis Blade is like uniquely bad.
Yeah.
Ngannou's like a uniquely bad matchup
For some reason, Curtis Blades. Yeah.
like even when the rematch, I was like, yeah, man, I think Curtis Blades is gonna win this rematch against Ngannou.
I hoped.
Killed in like a minute. Yeah.
It's because Curtis Blades just throws a 1-2 and just like stands there and looks at you. Like Curtis is bad combinations, but his wrestling is good. I'm very surprised he couldn't shoot on Ngannou. I don't know. Anyway,
he didn't get time to.
Yeah, he just got obliterated.
He didn't get time to.
Got obliterated.
Like,
my God.
So I think Rosenstruik has a good chin because he was in there with Overeem for like 25 minutes, and like he's I haven't seen him like hurt just in a little bit I've seen of him.
He's losing that fight to the end, though.
Yeah, but like I don't think that matters against Overeem. Like, Overeem's not gonna be putting volume on you. Overeem's gonna be trying to counter. And like he has I haven't seen any of his kickboxing bouts. So I can't like say like I don't know what his game is there, but he seems to be like a reasonably competent striker. Super low volume
for heavyweight.
This might be Derek Lewis and Ngannou too.
I'm worried about it.
I'm worried about it. And I think if that happens, Ngannou will lose again because Ngannou's just not gonna do anything. I don't know how to like judge this fight, man. Again, like
I don't know either.
I don't know much about a Rosenstruik's like game because like either he just beats people up really quickly. Like I've seen Rosenstruik, he has the ability to like counter and do some nice stuff, but like it's super sporadic. And like he gasses quick, he's a heavyweight. So like
that's what I was gonna say. It's just he has some combinations and then he gets tired and then waits and then throws another one, and it's kind of almost a Derek Lewis blueprint. But I don't.
Like I said, I don't know who's gonna win this fight.
Well, I don't know whether, and I don't care. Here's why. Ngannou, like he got away with heavyweight. Let's just level the playing field right now and say that like the standard for elite ability is the bottom of heavyweight, right? Like there's no like you can if I say very technical heavyweight, you can't be like, well, for heavyweight, like let's just eliminate the external and much better fighters at every other weight class, right? But except women's bantamweight. But sorry, they're just mostly
women's featherweight.
Yeah, women's featherweight. Like the 5 poor women in there who get fucked up by. Anyway, yeah. So Ngannou like got away with so much because he hits like a mule. Like he used to like his footwork was so bad. Like if this is you and you're in a let's say southpaw, right? Because that's just how it looks in my camera. And you're approaching someone, you want to lead foot first, step. But you don't ever want to like stunt your movement by taking the foot in the opposite direction of where you're going. He would close his feet. Like he would literally, I know this, okay? And I'm literally not even a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. I barely fucking did it, right? You don't want to like step this way and then that way. It's like step, you know what I mean? He would close where his heels are almost touching, right? By bringing the back leg forward first. And he had to, it was just it looked like he was about to throw a teep kick, but he wasn't. It was just really bad footwork. And like, some of his punches were even really shit too. Like the uppercut that he knocked out fucking Tin Can Arlovsky with, right? It was like this. It was like one of these that came from here and went all the way over here. But he's just so strong. He sent Arlovsky off his feet and into the air, fucking all the way to Mars, man. You know what I'm saying? But over time, he has improved quite a bit. He doesn't do that as much anymore. He's always had a good eye for a counter. But he is pulling back to throw counters more. I don't want to compare it to McGregor at all. But side on stance a little more, kind of pulling back to throwing the straight counter. But
I think in my personal opinion overall, I think Ngannou's game is like built on people being scared of him. So like people who can like meet him in spaces or who are like scary themselves, like slow Ngannou down a lot. Like in the Stipe fight, like he came out against Stipe like heavy as hell. I'm pretty sure he didn't really respect Stipe. Didn't think that Stipe could do much to him. The Stipe could hang in, could protect himself at range and fire back at him. Mm-hmm. So Ngannou, like after gassing himself, he didn't have nothing left to do. And in the Lewis fight, I'm pretty sure he was maybe he was a little bit nervous after the Stipe fight that he had lost. But, like he saw like another power puncher, and he probably like slowed himself down. Because again, like Ngannou to me, he can't do anything like effective like off the lead much, man. Like he can't like initiate his own offense. A lot of his games to me seems like it's mandatory for people to like throw themselves out of position.
Yeah.
Trying to kill him. Like Overeem to me, like when he fought Ngannou, it's like he's like, I gotta knock this guy out. I gotta hit him with the hardest thing I can, even though like he's not in position to throw anything good or respectable.
He threw his head way out to the left and through the
Yeah, exactly. Like Ngannou, like to me, feasts on people. Like a lot of his fights are Ngannou just like mentally bullying people to the point where he can just finish them. You know, really, either by like pure knocking their heads off, or like just like get a shell up TKO. But like I don't know if Rodenstruik's the type of guy either to just be like scared of anybody. I think Rodenstruik will just play his game, do what he has to do, and he
Yeah.
might just like scare Ngannou off just off of that.
Yeah, see, that's my thing. What I was getting at is you make a really good point about him sort of what. See, I'm not sure that he necessarily knows people like that. He is conscious of the fact that a lot of his success depends on people like taking these drastic efforts to avoid being touched by him, right? Such that they throw the game off. But we don't like. It's hard to.
He knows like how hard he hits. He knows that like he's like the scary guy in the division. Like his nickname is a Predator. Like
of course.
His, like role.
Well, I thought that was because of his hair.
Like, roles. No, it was because of his hair too.
Yeah.
But like he knows his role. Like he's like in his mind. I'm pretty sure he's like, I'm the big hitter in the division. I'm the guy who's supposed to be scary. You're supposed to respect me and and you're supposed to come at me to gain the respect, but you don't know how to do that. And I'm gonna hit you with something very powerful. But like when guys can either just like fight back at him, or they can just like not do anything. He's just kind of like, so you're not gonna do anything. Like, well, I don't have anything in my tool set to like do anything to you.
You don't think he'd run toward them and just start throwing hooks? Like you don't think you know what I'm saying?
He's never like done that from what I've seen.
He attacks Stipe.
Good fighters. He attacked Stipe, but it didn't really do much, and it gassed him out, and he got countered, and he.
Yeah, but if he does it against somebody who's not equipped to deal with it, like I'm convinced he could have.
No, he's done that against like lesser opponents, but like when he's fighting like
Bojan Mihailovic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he just pretty much ran at him and beat him up. But like I don't know, I don't think that's gonna like too much fly against Rodenstruik, because like Rodenstruik can like dissuade him from doing things. He could counter him, he could meet him, and then like
even pretend to throw a punch.
Exactly, and then like almost all the guys that Ngannou like doesn't respect have not shown any type of like even for heavyweight standards like any type of like KO power except for Stipe, but it didn't work out well for me either in that fight in general. So,
well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. You know, it's very hard to gauge what his whole like. He has a very like what is his game plan as far. Of course, he's aware that fights can go later on. So I haven't seen him in deep waters ever since the Stipe fight. He came back. He fought fucking snooze fest of the year against Derek Lewis, who was complaining in his corner about his back. So I'm gonna just say, but he's had awful performances since then. So I don't think it had anything to do with that. But and then there was he knocked out Kane, an old version of Kane, who was coming back against better heavyweights than existed when he was fighting, even though not by much. But then what? He knocked out Curtis Blades again, who's like you said, a really bad matchup for him. And then what? JDS, who threw like the dumbest overhand right and almost fell over, like the worst ever. JDS could have done way better in that fight than he did, man. JDS is serviceable boxing. He threw. That's the other thing. He kicked Francis's. I think it was an inside leg kick that like completely disrupted.
Knocked him out of his stance.
Yeah,
knocked him down. Like, like.
It remains to be seen. I don't think he's as technical as a fighter as he is just really powerful. Like
no, I was gonna say, man, I cannot trust like fighters who get quick finishes consistently when they finally face elite level guys. Like almost no matter what division it is, no matter what type of fighter it is. Like even though heavyweight's a lot easier to get away with stuff like that, like it's so much more difficult against like when you fight like when you get to the top levels of heavyweight. Those guys are good fighters. They're serviceable. They know how to protect themselves. They know how to deliver damage. Like when he fought Stipe, he was just getting so many quick finishes with little effort. He's finally fighting a guy who can protect himself and who can deliver offense.
Who can wrestle.
And he just gets blown out. Yeah, he just gets blown out.
Well, he even said that the camp was done. That he used the camp from Overeem for Stipe. Remember, they're like, "Are you training for Stipe?" He goes, "Nah, I'm ready."
And then again, like in this little win streak, I don't think any of the fights have gone past the first minute.
No.
Like that doesn't prepare you to like fight the best fighters in whatever division you're in. And like Rodenstruik might not be that guy, but like Rodenstruik has had a lot of experience. He's fought big hitters from everywhere. Has fought tough guys from everywhere. I don't think he like. I doubt. Like I doubt he's just gonna be like, oh, Ngannou's this
Scary
terrible
puncher.
force that I can't
Deal with. Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think the fight, like I say, my opinion, my prediction is gonna be a really slow, bad fight, and I got Roy Strike by decision.
So you got the Derek Lewis all over again.
Exactly. I got that over again.
Man, I don't know.
If it's
Francis,
better, then that's better.
man, if someone put a gun to my head and they said pick, I'd say Francis knocks him out early, like in
No, that's
round
fine,
one.
that's fine.
But I don't
Mhm.
know. I really don't. If you just were asking, like, what are you certain of? Like, it's gonna. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's really no major ramification. It's who's gonna fight whoever either Stipe when he beats DC the second time, or who's gonna fight for the vacant title when if DC beats Stipe. You know what I'm saying? And retires. And right now Francis isn't in the title picture because they promised DC a rematch, and that's really where the heavyweight division is determined after that. So we'll see. I've never been a huge fan of heavyweight because when I watch it, you'd think like heavyweight boxing is so much fun, especially right now. Heavyweights and MMA are so bad, man, and it's so boring.
Well, only a few heavyweight boxers are fun.
Yeah, but what top ranking heavyweight MMA fighters you watch and you're like, man, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, who are fucking foot fainting and doing technical things in boxing, are what? Who do we have? You know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying, but well, okay, I just want to talk about heavyweight. We can go on from this.
Yeah.
But okay, so the next fight is another good fight is Jeremy Stephens and Calvin Kattar. So
well, let's just make a quick comment. I think the next fight was going to be Hardy versus whatever whoever that guy. Look, we're not. I think that the fact that Hardy's on the main event is a joke, and that Cowboy is on the prelim card after just coming off a fight with McGregor and being the legend that he is, and is an absolute insult to the integrity of the sport, even from both a competitive and entertainment side. Cowboy is, even though he's on a skid, as far as where he stands in his division, is way better off, in my opinion, than Hardy is. The moment Hardy faced legitimate opposition against, that's a guy who I didn't know was the tall Russian motherfucker who got knocked out by a black beast. He looked like an idiot. He looked like a white belt in there with a black belt. He got jabbed up. He didn't know what he was doing, and I was just amazed at how bad he was. They keep feeding him awful fighters, and people know. I don't know. It's awful. I'm actually really just annoyed that Hardy has a main event position is getting pay-per-view points. So we're gonna skip over that because there's nothing to say about that awful fighter.
I to say about that.
He's bad, and they're feeding him people he can be. They're doing the same thing they do with MVP in Bellator. That's our MVP. That's our Michael Venom page for the UFC. So we're gonna move. That's why we're skipping over. Anyway, let's go on, like you said, to Stephens versus Kattar. This is an interesting one, man.
Like I said, I really like this fight. This is a good fight. Mainly because I think Calvin Kattar is gonna kind of piece Jeremy Stephens up, in my opinion.
If you can move laterally,
I think Jeremy Stephens. Calvin Kattar can draw out a lot of stuff from Stephens and just kind of tag him at range. Like Stephens to me, Stephens works best when he's pressuring, but he's not like a good pressure fighter because he kind of just walks in straight lines.
Yeah,
he'll do things good, like corral people to his big punches, like his overhand rights and stuff like that. But like when Stephens is walking you down with his jab, and if you back and straight up, Stephens can look pretty solid. But I think Kattar can move around laterally, just kind of pick him apart. Especially when Stephens tries to counter, he swings back real big and wide, and he's not gonna be there for Kattar. He's just not, Kattar's not gonna be there for him to get to.
Nah.
Like I said, I think I'm pretty confident in this fight that Kattar's gonna win it, and I like watching Calvin Kattar fight. So
he's good, man. I wish Kattar used more kicking in general, leg kicking especially, because he's got really good hands. I mean, his 1-2 is really good. His jab is good, but I'm with you. I think look, the blueprint to beating Stephens is don't walk back in a straight line because he's gonna hit you with an overhand right. Just move laterally, have good cage craft, and that's kind of like he's like the high level gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? If Kattar could kick consistently, because Kattar's not a bad kicker, but he's kind of as a kicker. Mm-hmm. If Kattar could kick consistently,
I might pick him to finish Stevens, to be honest with you.
Mm.
But I think he's just gonna kind of
Piece him
he's
up.
gonna kind of beat him up like he did Andre. Yeah, he's gonna beat him up like he did Andre Philly, in my opinion. Stevens just gonna be swinging that air most of the time, pressuring behind. Like Stevens has a good jab and all that stuff. He's not gonna be able to get to Cater as consistently as he wants. And he's not gonna, and I doubt he's gonna be hitting with big shots. So, like I say again, I love watching me some Calvin Cater. So
Yeah, me too.
This should be a nice fun fight. So
it was fun. The first time I saw him was against Moicano.
Oh really? Well, the first time I seen him, it was against Philly. Yeah, it was against Philly, and I was like, I didn't know who Calvin Cater was. I was like, man, this guy's good, man. He's beating Andre Philly up. I thought, oh, this is good. And then I seen him O'Connor. I was like, man, O'Connor's good, man. He's beating Calvin Cater up. That's how it always is.
No, for sure. I mean, I agree with everything you said. Pretty much, piece him up with the hands, the 1-2. Stevens very overrated. He's powerful. He's never finished guys. He runs in a straight line. Throws overhand rights. Gets really mad, and yeah.
I'm the human highlight reel.
Yeah. I don't really like him. I mean, as a person, I'm sure he's great, but as a fighter, it's just kind of reminds me of the I don't know. He reminds me of older UFC where guys kind of ran in straight lines and threw.
What, dude? No, he like if you like, he's been fighting forever, man. He's been in the UFC since like I think like 2008, man. Let me check. He's like an older UFC guy, if you want to like consider it that.
But no, he is. He's from the middle era.
Whoa, okay. Dude, he's been in the UFC since 2007, man. Goodness gracious. Hey, if anything, Jeremy Stevens is a veteran. Like,
doesn't he have like 6 KOs or something? Like 6 KOs or like something like crazy in like his last
like
20,
pure KOs?
Yeah, like finishes and like 25 or 30 fights in the UFC. Some awful finishing rate. And
I'm not sure.
He's a very low finishing rate, but like he told McGregor he was like the real hardest hitting. I don't know. He's also a dork. He just annoys me. Looks like a fucking Amish person with his beard. Anyway.
Okay, so
he made me a fan though. Yeah, we're skipping him. He made me his fan when he served as Aldo's first win since the tough loss to McGregor.
Dude, oh my god, I love that fight so much.
Not his first one, but
one of my favorite. Oh god, I love that fight.
Yeah.
Like I say, me and my best bud was in the we were watching that at his house. We were just jumping around screaming, man, in the living room, man. I was like, yes, Aldo won. Yeah. And he was crying too.
Aldo, I was so happy for him. It was so I shed a tear, man. I really did.
I was like,
He's had it tough, man.
Like,
that awful loss to McGregor, he beat, Edgar, and then just got pummeled by Holloway, and he looked like he really needed that for his mental health.
Man, that fight was good. Yeah. Dude, he had so light, man.
Yeah.
I was after Stevens though, because I heard he had some like he was like that fight made him sad because he was like, I can't be the top guys. Like it messed up his mental health a little bit too, which made me sad. I was like, damn.
Yeah, but it's true in his case.
That makes it worse.
I know. I'm very obviously picking favorites.
You're like, who cares about this?
Yeah, because Stevens gets on my nerves with his antics, and Aldo's always just been a pure guy. Anyway, we got to move on. So we're skipping Greg Hardy.
I know you.
We both pick jab up decision 3-round. Gets jabbed up. That's our pick for Cater versus Stevens. Yeah. Cater the winner. All right, who's next?
We got Cerrone and Pettis. And normally, like when there's rematch fights, I normally just pick the guy who won the first match because like especially unless the dynamic is weird, like what's it gonna change from like what happened to this fight? And normally again, I would pick Pettis. But Pettis has been looking like increasingly breakable recently. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying Cerrone hasn't either. But like, I don't know, Pettis is looking like a special kind of like like fragile. Can be hurt, can be like fragile mentally and physically. Yeah. Because at least when he would get beat up, he would still hang in there and fight back and all that. But now, like, I don't know, man. He just doesn't. I don't want to be Mr. Armchair Psychologist, but I'm not even sure if he like wants to fight. Like, he just like it seems like he's just in here now. Like, brought up Cowboy again. Like, Cowboy's still he's looking fragile now too. But Cowboy talking about fighting the day after that and the week that the day after that. I think Cowboy will come in here and look reasonable.
He'll look game,
but at least like ready to fight. Ready to fight.
Yeah.
Ready to fight. Man. Like I don't trust Anthony Pettis to to fight now. If it was like, say, if it was Prime versus Prime, I'm picking Pettis easy.
Oh
The
yeah,
first fight,
but Pettis is so
to me,
far
the-
removed from his prime. They're so
to
far
me,
removed from his prime. Yeah.
yeah, the first fight is like the same dynamic as how the fight would go all the time. Like, it's to me, it's funny because like Anthony Pettis to me seems like absolutely built to like beat like his WEC guys, like the Ben Hendersons and the Cowboys
Gilbert
and
Melendez.
the Jamie Varn. I don't think he fought. Yeah, I don't think he fought Jamie Varn, but yeah, Jamie Varn and all those, like just like a powerful range kicker who won't concede range, and he'll fight back at the range. He'll fight back in the pocket, and he throws hard and throws fast, and throws in combination.
Mhm.
And like those guys don't have the defense to keep themselves safe, so they just kind of sit.
Sure, yeah, they get hit.
Range
Yeah.
and get smacked. Yeah, and get smacked and get smacked and get smacked.
Right.
And if you take him down, his guard game is is quick, effective.
He's got
like-
he's very aggressive off his back, like very, very violent.
Exactly.
He throws up lots of time. He triangle Michael Chiesa.
Like I say, like normally, I would be picking Pettis like kind of easy. Like I say again, like the first fight
Yeah.
kind of tell me all I need to know about like what the fight is always going to be, especially if he starts kicking the body from southpaw, which is what he did in the first fight.
Mhm.
Like again, he could just do that this fight and still win kind of easy, in my opinion. But I'm not
Dude,
sure.
that
if,
guy
like,
breaks
he can-
though. People come forward, and he gets mentally weak. I don't want to, like I said, one, I don't want to be an armchair psychologist, despite being a psych major. But two, it's also I'm not one to comment on someone's mental strength. I think it's kind of a stupid construct to begin with.
Yeah, and yeah, I know, and it's hard to do. Like I say, it's hard to fight out there, man. Like it's tough.
Sorry about that, guys. As you can see, I'm at a new camera angle. Like just all together, I'm on the right now, and it kind of looks a little different. That's because unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties. I'm using a laptop that of an Alienware 17, but it has some technical error. I couldn't get the camera to come back on our call, so Trey actually can't see me, which means I can do this without him being able to. No, I love you, buddy. I gave him double fingers, Nate Diaz style, but no, but you guys can see me. That's what's important. So yeah, what we were saying was we're not trying to shame fighters who mentally break, because you know,
difficult, man.
it's very hard. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to like to get on a quick thing. There's a lot of ways fighters break, man. Like
Sorry about that, guys.
fighters quit a whole lot more than people realize. Like a whole lot more ways. Fighters will cover up just to let a TKO happen.
Mhm.
Fighters will give up their neck like rear naked chokes all the damn time. Fighters will just stop fighting out of positions and just not even that leads to finishes. They'll just like stop fighting out of positions and let the fight go.
Right.
Like fighters quit in like many different ways. Like it's like natural. It's like as common as like jabs and crosses and takedowns. It's just part of the process. Like,
Right.
But if you are like a person who I just can't trust to like fight at a pace or like or doesn't or who just at the first time of adversity doesn't want to fight their fight anymore, I can't trust them. And then in that sense, like Anthony Pettis, man, I don't know, he just looked a little shaky to me recently. I would probably have to still pick Donald.
I'm picking Cowboy.
But if Anthony Pettis just out here kills him in like 2 minutes, not surprising.
I honestly think that win against Wonderboy was a bit of a fluke.
I really don't like use the word fluke, especially because like people do stuff to finish fights. Like he obviously did a punch.
No, he will. Okay, yeah, but it wouldn't happen in the rematch. It's not a very repeatable result for him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's not winning that fight.
Yeah, right. But I think if Habib and Poirier fought 10 times, Habib wins 8 or 9. I think if Pettis and Cowboy run it back, not Cowboy. I'm so sorry. Wonderboy run it back. That result doesn't. He was losing that fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, he just hopped off. Fluke is, like you said, probably not the best choice of words, but you understand my point essentially. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Cerrone second round TKO by the end.
I got something about decision because both of them looking kind of fragile. So I think Cerrone just kind of like a slowest type thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my prediction. I'm gonna stick with second round TKO.
So now into Arman's favorite fight of the evening.
Listen,
Alexio Oleinik and
let me make sure that there's not more happening on this card before. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's the next fight.
That's the next fight. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Prelims. Look, you're making a big deal. He didn't want to preview this fight, and I was like, listen, I think I'm just gonna get what I think about these fighters. Verdun benefited a lot going to Kings MMA, training with Rafael Cordero or Rafael if you're feeling proper. But Cordero helped him a lot with, he does a few things pretty well in aggressively or offensively. Has very awful striking defense. Fabricio Verdun is one of the lowest fight IQs I've ever fucking seen in my life. And it's kind of annoying, like, because sometimes he'll do that gorgeous thing where he knows that Mark Hunt will lower his head when Fabricio shoots for a takedown, so he'll feint a takedown and come up with the knee, which is like great setup for heavyweight. But then like he's like arguably won round 1 against Volkov, lost round 2, could have ridden out the rest of that round and then attempted to get a takedown that last round. I held him down, but instead he got up off the ground and ran towards him like he did to Stipe and gets KO'd. And then the same thing happened. Or I don't know if it was the main event that fight against Volkov, but he could have played strategically in the remaining time to win. And then against Stipe, just charges forward like an idiot, and you're just like, what are you doing? And then against the chinniest fighter ever to live, freaking Alistair Overeem, he hits him with good on the tie plum, hits him with the knees, clearly wobbled, and he takes him down and holds him there in a fight where he lost rounds 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? That's my great ground game, obviously. That's my perspective on Verdun. Olenek has the worst stand-up in the heavyweight division, possibly, and is not nearly as advanced a grappler as Verdun. He just has some like tricks that are really cool. I think if they had a grappling match, it would look like a watered-down version of what Gordon Ryan did to Olenek in Quintet or whatever it was. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about what I think would happen if it goes to the ground between them, which I actually don't think it will. I think it'll be a really boring slugfest. But yeah, I think nothing Olenek does works. I think he gets shut down, and if Verdun is able to finish him on the ground, it'll be in mount position with the TKO, or like half guard, he'll elbow him really quickly and knock him out, or it'll be like a rear naked choke type of finish. If not, I think Verdun wins by decision, or just gets knocked out in one punch. But my whole thing is a decision win or on the ground TKO or rear naked choke for Verdun. That's all I have to say, Treyvon.
See, the reason why I didn't want to talk about this fight is because like Verdun is coming up like 2 years off.
He's like 44.
He's a lot less interesting fighter than Cruz. So not much to talk about. Olenek is weird, and I don't think Olenek can out-grapple Verdun. I got Verdun, my guess. I don't know. I got
Verdun by most likely boring decision.
Talk about this fight. Yeah, there ain't nothing to talk about for this fight.
Look,
I'll watch it.
Verdun wins most likely by boring decision. If he finishes Olenek, it'll be on the ground via TKO, or he'll get to his back. But it won't be like some like armbar or kimura or guillotine or anything more than I got to his back. Yeah. But okay, look, I've got Verdun boring decision. That's my prediction. You said you kind of don't care. All right. So there's one more fight we were going to talk about, and it's your favorite fight in this card. We can talk about Jacare and Hall.
Yeah. That'd be that fight. Carla and Michelle, I like those two.
Spammy sidekick girl versus someone I don't know about. Yeah.
But but Hall and Souza kind of has something too. And I would be of the opinion, like again, man, there's so many like old fighters fighting not old fighters like recently, and I just can't trust. I don't like these matchups. In that sense, like if Jacare was like Jacare from a few years back, I would be picking him against Hall. Like,
the Jacare that beat Weidman. What about that Jacare?
Yeah, even then, even that Jacare.
I think he looked really good, to be honest.
I would say I don't think Jacare actually is looking like as run down and old as the other guys I've been talking about.
Yeah, but he's Jacare.
You know what? Screw it. I think Jacare still right now beats Uriah Hall pretty convincingly because Uriah Hall's the type of guy to back himself up against the cage with pressure.
Totally lose confidence. Yeah, and discipline.
But Hall has counter ability, but he's mainly one big shot at a time, or he just won't throw stuff. He'll just like let rounds go.
Yeah, he's weird.
Even though Jacare as a cage wrestler isn't the best,
no,
I think he can get Hall down.
It's kind of like inside leg trip from against the fence.
And I think that'll be more than enough to work. Mm-hmm. And once that happens, man, I don't trust Hall to do anything off his back. Hall as a grappler is pretty much exclusively a scholar.
Yeah.
He'll just keep himself safe and that about it. He'll just hold down.
No, if Jacare gets on top of Hall, he's going to submit him.
I don't trust Jacare. I'm sorry, I don't trust Hall to keep himself safe on Jacare and stuff because well, he could. I would say he could style off position, but even then, he'll be sure to do the decision. Yeah, and then Hall gives him his back a lot to stand off the trips or give him his back to fight hands off the cage, to fight hands when people have like body locks on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of see him giving up his back and gets Jacare and probably getting choked. Or if he gives his back, he'll just sit and 2-on-1 for the whole round.
Yeah,
that'll be losing the round.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, a little piece of me, man, because I like Jacare. A little piece of me is like a little worried that he's not gonna be in his best form.
He had that stint at light heavyweight against Blachowicz.
No, like I said, I wouldn't say he's actually like looked bad anytime recent. Not bad. To me, he's not him in like 2015. I wouldn't say he's like 2015 and before.
And he should have gotten the title shot.
Yeah, he would have won the title. Like 6 people would have won the title if they would have fought this game at that time.
Yeah, 6 people.
And I love this one, but yeah, it's like yeah. But, like his performances have been
lackluster.
Yeah, they've been lackluster. But I still think he has enough to like be a tough matchup for Hall. Like I kind of consider Hall, not trying to be mean, but like in the Derek Brunson category of fighter.
No, he is.
Like as like the tough, athletic, not tough. Well, Hall is tough. Hall is tough physically. He can take a good shot. But like in the athletic, hits hard,
low fight IQ
like category. Like he's a lot more. He's a lot more like more frustrable, I would say, than Brunson. He's saying a lot.
Hall he loses sight of his goals in the middle of a fight and kind of does nothing. He becomes very passive.
I don't know if he has any goals in this fight.
No, but like when you watch the fucking Paulo Costa fight, he was doing good work with the jab and his movement, and then he just stopped.
No, because like Costa would come up to him against the cage and hit him with hard shots. Like as much like I guess like I don't think Hall is just good enough to like be able to deal with people like that. He just don't have the skill set. And it doesn't help that mentally he's not the best dealing with that skill set. Well,
that's what I'm saying. I feel like he gets discouraged really easily, and he loses sight of whatever his original game plan is. Like, I don't know. It just seems like, and then like, well, who did he lose to? Derek Brunson, where he was starting to say, he's really the type of guy you need a full camp for. I don't know. Hall, to me, is the kind of fighter where, like, man, this guy seems like he has the untapped potential, right? Like the unactualized, but he never, yeah.
No, this is a good segue too to talk about that. Like in terms of like untapped potential. Like just because a fighter is like supremely athletic, which Hall is, I don't think that makes you like a good fighter. I don't think that makes people. I don't think you should tell people that are like, man, what could have been? Because like, if he doesn't have the mindset or the skill set or the ability to gain skills to be an elite fighter, then he's never going to be one. He could be the most athletic person there is. He's still going.
Yeah, but he's got some decent skills. You know what I'm saying? He has good kicking ability. Like, throws a good jab when he wants.
Okay, no, like his like he throws like a wide array of kicks, but he doesn't like. Hall isn't like a put together fighter in my opinion. Like,
I'm just saying he's like a vehicle that doesn't have the right fuel in it or the right driver, right? Like that's how I would describe. Like if you had like the control.
No. Okay, I just want to use car analogy. He's like a vehicle that like doesn't have any like with a lot of horsepower, with like no aerodynamics. So like he can't like he doesn't have a good game. Like somebody that would say like could have been so much more like Anthony Johnson, which is a good comparison. Right?
Yeah,
like
sure.
Anthony Johnson as skill set, he's a championship level light heavyweight, easy. If Anthony Johnson had like he was mentally there, he'd be champion right now. Mm-hmm. Like in light heavyweight division, he would have beat John Jones and he would have beat DC. Like that's the guy that I would say like, oh man, if only if the potential was there. Like you're right, Hall. To me, he hasn't shown a skill set to say that. Sure. Like to me, it's like a combination of like your like athletic ability and skill set, or if you just have like a high skill set, or just you can say that. But like people like Uriah Hall, they haven't shown anything that was like, man, he was so good, but he just couldn't do this, or he just had this little hurdle. Like he has a lot of problems he has to overcome before he gets to that level. Yeah,
like, that's true, especially mentally.
Like Jacare, if only he would have got a title shot, he would have been a champion.
I think so too. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to me, Jacare is a guy that you just well, I'm not saying because to me he actualizes his potential pretty good. Jacare is not the type of guy. Let me think of somebody like even somebody like Luke Rockhold. You can be like, man, if Luke Rockhold could have done this, he could have been so much better, or he could have, or
For sure.
Oh, and a good one like in that sense is like Kevin Gastelum. Kevin Gastelum to me has I'll use middleweight too, but Kevin Gastelum has like a baseline skill set and attributes that could be super dangerous to people, man. And he's already like a damn near elite fighter as is. But like, I don't think he'll ever get over that hump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Uriah Hall and Kevin Gastelum are on the same level.
Right.
Like Kevin Gastelum already beat him anyway, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you, man. And I think you're right. What I mean is, you've got someone who at least physically has, like, you look at him and you think, man, that guy could be so much more. And then you look at Elias Theodorou and you're like, well, that guy's probably all he can be.
Yeah, you know what? I can completely see your logic in this.
Yeah.
People just assume that like people with elite athleticism can just be like champions just automatically. Like, no, it's a lot of skill sets and stuff that you have to work with.
Of course.
Theodorou, I think Theodorou, there's a good chance he would beat Uriah Hall just because he became all he could be. Like, Theodorou's a much more, I guess, consistent fighter when it comes to winning fights. Like Theodorou, like he became all he could be.
I feel you, man.
Uriah Hall, like, I think in his sense, he became all he could be in a way. Like he doesn't have an elevated skill set that he has just shown. He'll just like sometimes knock people the hell out. He makes good reads and he'll hit good counters, or he'll just
he's good eye for counters.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And so like he'll do that, and then like, but he doesn't show in those fights. He just gets beat up, or he'll just be doing nothing, or he'll just get beat up in general. Like to me, Uriah Hall just
punching bag.
People see, when people see athletic guys who can occasionally get knockouts, they're like, man, these guys can be so much more. And like, I mean, I guess, but like, if you don't show a skill set, then you're not. Then to me, that's who you are. Like, you can't grow as a fighter. That's who you are.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you mean. It's not quite what I'm saying. I mean more like, well, I guess there's no upper limit. I mean, there's an upper limit, right? Because then if you start saying things like, well, if you could inject them with the skills, but then you're producing a different fighter, so it's not untapped potential. Yeah. It's literally
exactly. Yeah.
You're playing with sliders.
I know, yeah. Like, what if Elias Theodorou is like Yoel athleticism? But
that's a different person. That's not his potential.
That's not. Yeah, that's like
that's a qualitatively separate individual who you've imagined.
Or like, what if John Jones just had like no reach, like had Artur Lobov, like that's,
or was like a foot shorter.
That's a different fighter.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, man. So what's your pick for that fight? You got Jacare?
I got Jacare, man. Yeah, I got Jacare, man. I got Jacare.
I can't decide between. For some reason, I see a Kimura because Jacare is pretty good with those. I think he has two on his UFC resume. One against Tim Bosch, who just didn't belong in there with him, and then one against Kamosi? Yeah. And then it'd either be by Kimura or thunderous overhand right that sends Hall into the fucking realm of oblivion from the Elder Scrolls.
Now that I'm thinking about it, man, I think Hall has like slim margins to win this fight.
Yeah. Me too. I don't even know what he does well.
He jabs all right.
Well, well, no, but also, like, now that I think back, he throws really stupid shit. Like, when he threw, like, the triple turning crescent kick against Whitaker, who then got on top of him and just pummeled him. I'm like, oh, man.
Like, Hall is just, like, And then Hall's kind of old, too, man. Hall is like...
He's not a young man. Wasn't he on... He was on The Ultimate Fighter when Chael Sonnen was coaching it.
Yeah, he was on the one that Kevin Gastelum fought that fight.
Yeah, I was 16 when Chael left the UFC. No, not when this happened. So I'm almost 21 here in a few days, right? So it's been almost 5 years. But my point is he's been around. Anyway, man, so that's our prediction. I don't think there's a whole lot more to talk about in terms of this card. There's a couple of cool things with Rosa and stuff on the bottom.
Looking at Price should be super fun.
That's gonna be fun. Oh, I want to mention look, I'm not usually this guy. I'm this guy with two people, and Price is one of them. There's some fighters I just cannot fucking stand, and I want to see them get knocked the fuck out. And I'll tell you why. It's not their personality, it's not their fighting style, it's the way their face looks. And
Dude, man.
Nico Price is one of them, and then in jiu-jitsu, it's the fucking Meow brothers. Okay? That's who they are. Those are the two people I just can't. Their faces just aggravate me so much. It disappoint me.
Like, okay, Arman, like, there's a very good chance, he will get finished because Luke beat him the first time. And Price has fights that are just live or die by death. So
Price has got the craziest finishes. Man, he's got that up kick against Vic, but Vic's been really, finishable recently. But then he also has got that. I was watching the hammer fist from the bottom against some guy who had like 50-50. He had some length. I don't even remember what the position. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, it's the unluckiest thing in the world. Because you don't expect those to knock you out. You know what I'm saying? And then he was getting pieced up by, Means. And then he threw an overhand, whatever, and that just sent him into a hole.
Yeah, Means is annihilated, actually. He was on the verge of finish.
Oh yeah, he was about to go out, man. He was parrying on getting inside his guard and then throwing straight punches, but Means wasn't doing anything about, getting hit back, unfortunately. But Means was piecing him up.
Yeah, like I say, Lucas won. He won the first fight.
I think Lucas honestly probably take it. But then, you know how happy he was when Jeff Neal just pummeled him from inside his guard? I'm like, dude, you're just sitting there lazily, and it was him, right? It was Nico Price? Okay, good. Because I was like, this is so confusing, like, the guy's on his knees hitting you. You're just laying on your back. Push against his... I think he was doing a decent job standing up against Neil, which kind of surprised me. But just put your feet on his hips and push him away. You know what I'm saying? Like...
Yeah, I remember Jeff Neal once. I completely forgot the details of that fight. Other than, like, they both knocked each other down. It's kind of weird.
Well, I was very surprised because Neil has been shown to be a very competent striker. He's like a southpaw, right? I think he has, like, the left high kick, the left straight. But... all I know is at a certain point, somehow Price ended up on his back and accepted guard, but wasn't managing distance well at all. He was, for one, Neil postured up, I think, on his knees, and Price, like when you're like playing jiu-jitsu, you're just rolling, and a guy gets on his knees in your guard and he postures up, like that's kind of bad. That's the position that they were in. And I remember Price just thinking, oh, I'm fine here. He's not, I've got a good chin. He's not hitting me hard. And then Neil just starts throwing hammer fists. And then Price is just, this is from my memory, but it could be wrong. Price is kind of moving, doing okay. He's taking little shots. And one of them hurts. And at that point, it's too late because he's hurt. And so Neil postures up and starts hitting him even more. And then Price just gets finished in his guard, which he could have prevented for like a minute.
Like Price to me as a fighter is really...
Price kind of reminds me of one of those fighters who can't spell your and you are, like apostrophe R.
Dude, man,
I'm going in on it, man. I'm sorry, Price. If you see this, man, I'm sorry, dude. I don't like you for no reason at all. You're probably a great guy. Fucking probably pulls kittens out from fucking trees and saves them and takes them to shelters and things like that.
I always kind of like to see Price fights because it's always weird.
It's exciting. I love it. Yeah.
Violent, and like he has an eye for finishes. So.
Oh, he's not boring at all. His fights are fun. I always enjoy his fights.
Yeah, I like to watch fights.
Yeah,
and but fights are always excellent too. So this fight's gonna be a banger.
It's always a roller coaster of emotions when I watch him fight because not Luke. I like Luke, but whenever I watch Price fight, because it's either I'm screaming my head off about finish it, yeah, let's go, Jeff Neal, jumping up and down, or I'm like, fuck. Vic, you let me down, man. Execution of my dick. You let me down. They got upkicked.
Yeah, you don't trust James Vic and Price.
Not anymore, man. No. But anyway, man. So that just about wraps it up. I think honestly, I think Price will probably get knocked out against Luke. But it's getting late, man. It was great. It was fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was our first pre-fight analysis. We're gonna be able to talk post-fight next week, and I'm so excited for that, man. I'm so pumped.
Episode is gonna be our first post-fight.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be the first one that follows the name, the title of our.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
It was a pre-fight podcast.
It was a pre-fight podcast. All right, love you, brother. I'll see you. See you next time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Peace out, guys.